Good evening, my Dr. Jayesh Kumar from KNPG, Gyanpur. So we will discuss the Kepler's laws of planetary motion. This is a very simple yet very important law of the physics which describes the motion of the planets around the sun. So before going into the motion of the planets around the sun, let us briefly go into the history. So in early days, it was thought that the Earth is at the center of the solar system and all the planets, including the sun, moves around the sun. But Copernicus gave his hypothesis that not Earth but the sun is at the center of the solar system and all the planets revolves around the sun in a circular orbit. So Galileo in around 1630s and 1632 he invented his first telescope and through observations proved that sun is at the center of the solar system. Around the same time Tycho was also observing the motion of the Mars, and before he could analyze the data and conclude something, he died. So after his death, one of his students, Kepler, analyzed that data carefully, and his analysis revealed that planets, instead of moving in a circular orbit, moves in an elliptical orbit around the sun. So now we will discuss Kepler's laws of planetary motion one by one. So Kepler's first law of planetary motion is about the law of orbits. This says that the planets around the sun move in an elliptical orbit and sun is at one of the focus of the ellipse. So the other focus remains empty. There is nothing at the other focus. So as we know that in ellipse we have two focus and sun remains at one focus. When planets will revolve around the sun in these elliptical orbits, at some times they will be close to the sun and at other times they will be far from the sun. So the point at which planets are closest to the sun is known as the perihelion, and the other point opposite to this, when the planets are farthest to the sun, is known as the aphelion. So Kepler's second law, coming to Kepler's second law, this law is about the law of equal area. This law states that a line from the sun to the planet sweeps out equal area in equal time. This means that the areal velocity remains constant. So suppose we draw a line from the sun to the planet, and as planet will move, this line will sweeps out some area. If the area swept by the planets in time dt is dA, then the areal velocity can be given as the ratio of the area swept by the line in a particular interval of time dt. So this areal velocity is dA over dt, which is given as L by 2m, which remains constant, where L is the angular momentum of the planets and m is the mass of the planet. As dA by dt remains constant, this has following consequences that the planets do not move with constant speed in their orbits. So their speeds are not same at every point of the ellipse. When they are closer to the sun, means when they are near to the perihelion, they moves faster, and when they are away from the sun around the aphelion, their speed decreases and they move slowly. This results in the situations that in same amount of time, when they are at two different points, the distance traveled by them will be different, but the area swept by the line joining the planet and the sun will be same. Coming to the Kepler's third law of planetary motion, the third law is about the time period of the planets. So when a planet completes one complete revolution around the sun, the time taken by the planet is known as the time period of that planet. This law tells that the square of the planet's orbital period is directly proportional to the cube of the orbit's semi-major axis. Semi-major axis is this axis which is given over here. So the A represents the semi-major axis, and according to this law, t square is directly proportional to a cube, which implies that if a planet is away from the sun, it will farther away from the sun, it will take more time to complete one complete revolution. This problem of planets and the sun in the solar system is a classical two-body problem, and using the equation of Newton's laws of gravitation and Newton's laws of motion, one can show that the expressions of t square is related with the semi-major axis A as follows. This says that t square is equal to 4 pi square divided by g m1 plus m2 into a cube, where m1 and m2 are the masses of the two orbiting objects in units of solar masses. For planet and sun system, this m1 and m2 will be replaced by the mass of the sun and mass of that respective planet. This law tells us that if we know the time taken by a planet to revolve around the sun and its distance from the sun, and for the other planet we know only the time period taken by that second planet to revolve around the sun. Using this law we can tell the distance of that planet, or otherwise if we know the distance of the second planet from the sun, then we can tell that how much time it will take to complete the one revolution around the sun. So this is all about the Kepler's three laws of planetary motion, which completely describes the motion of the planets around the sun in our solar system. So thank you very much.